Hello, everybody. We're starting Pokerbrox podcast today. Show about streaming and video games and other nerdy stuff and tech shit. So, you know, it's going to be something awesome. And if you don't know me, I'm Pokerbrox on Twitch. You can find me there. I have about 800 and some followers right now. I stream every day from 5:30 CST, the start time. The end times vary. And then, so now I'm going to bring in my co-host. He's going by Puma here. So, Puma, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Puma. I am one of Corey's IRL friends. And yeah, been also thinking about streaming. Haven't actually done anything yet, but yeah, kind of thinking about it. So yeah, that's me.
So I hear you're interested in getting into streaming.
Yeah. So streaming's always been something that it's always interested me. It's kind of my TV nowadays, which I think is kind of the truth for a lot of folks our age. Just because there's so much you can see, for example, there's like a cool game that maybe you don't necessarily want to put the time in for, or you don't have the time for, but you can watch somebody play it. And it's streaming is just such a great platform for stuff like that. And it's always something that I feel like I could, try my hand at for sure. I just waiting to move to my new space, so then I'll actually hopefully have a dedicated space to do that. But for now, I feel like this would be a good opportunity to find out some tips about streaming and all that. Since that's kind of your thing right now.
Yeah, so I personally started streaming about 4 months ago now. And it's getting pretty big right now, which is kind of crazy. We're on our way to 1,000 follows. So what questions do you have in particular?
Well, I guess the first question is, what made you decide to stream in the first place?
Well, I was like, you know what? I'm playing video games anyway. Might as well put it on stream and interact with people. So why not?
Yeah, and hey, that's legit. For sure.
Plus, I always wanted to get into content creating, and so streaming is a way of doing that. This podcast is another way. YouTube, all that, TikTok, all that stuff.
All that stuff to get into the spotlight a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And so yeah, you definitely have a nice community. I was actually pretty surprised after not even really a month of you streaming. You kind of had this group that would always come. We're generally pretty faithful.
Yep. We got
which is pretty cool.
Poker Club Discord. Everybody hangs out in. I think we're at 80 members now. My average viewer count's about 14 right now.
Right, which honestly, double digits on Twitch that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's good. Obviously, the next goal is years from now. I'm more like it's 75.
Right. Yeah.
But affiliate, you only need 3. So
affiliate's not that hard. As long as you have a small following, you can easily make affiliate.
Right.
But yeah, because I think the statistic is something over 90% or 95% of streams on Twitch have less than 5 viewers, or 5 viewers, or I think 5 is the magic number if I remember right.
Okay.
So the fact that you're you're into double digits is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, the other thing is a majority, I think it's 90-some% of streamers quit before 5 years, and everyone who has stuck with it for the full 5 years is basically partnered on Twitch now.
Right, yeah.
So if you stick with it for 5 years, you should, in theory, statistically, make partner if you're a decent streamer.
Yeah, it's all time and effort, and I mean, obviously, you learn stuff in that time too.
Right,
You-
and I
you get
stream.
something that, you
I
know,
stream
works.
part time, obviously. So like,
Well, yeah, I mean, we're adults, we got jobs. Unfortunately, we can't do this full time like some folks can do. But, yeah, but it's, you know, it's cool that you're, you know, it's only been what, few months now, a couple months. When did you start?
I don't know, like May. I
Yeah,
think.
okay, so a few months. But yeah, I mean, in a few months, you've done pretty good. Honestly.
Yeah, I love it. I have a blast. It's my favorite part of the day is interacting with people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And that's a reason that I really want to give streaming a shot, is because I also really do like interacting with people, like in different, or for example, in the Twitch accounts that I watch, I'm always usually pretty active in the chat or in Discord servers, things like that. It's just so fun to talk to people, especially, you know, people that you don't see every day, that you don't see face to face. You know, it's like, it's new. It's like making new friends. You know, you have a chance to meet new people. You have a chance to get to know someone you otherwise wouldn't get to know, you know, and it's just, I don't know, it's cool.
Right, yeah, I enjoy that a lot. I also try and support everybody that comes to my stream if they're a fellow streamer. So I like doing that too and helping people out.
Yeah, and honestly, that's really what it's all about. It's all about that. Twitch is an amazing platform because of the community that it creates. Just so many different like types and groups of people that you can find on Twitch. Like, you can find artists on Twitch. I mean, it's not just gamers. Everyone thinks about the gaming on Twitch, which is a big part of it. But there's also artists, there's musicians, there's, you know, different hobbyists, there's like people who cook. Like, there's so many different things you can watch on Twitch. It's amazing. And because of that, there's this gigantic community that you can tap into and also, you know, support each other, which is... And what I've seen on Twitch is a lot of people are usually very open to supporting and wanting each other to, you know, thrive, to get bigger. And, you know, and that's what's great about raids too, is raids are great for that.
Oh yeah, that's my number one tip, is at the end of every stream, even if it's only one person, raid out. I mean, you got to do that, because like, even if you just yourself, and then that's basically hosting, because hosts count a lot too. The more hosts you get, the more likely you're to show up on the Twitch recommended page.
Right, exactly, and that's great. Rating really is the only way that you're able to like actually get advertising, quote unquote, essentially for your channel, outside of actual like social media. So that's why it's so important to raid even if you are a small streamer. It makes all the difference in the world.
I also will do shout outs on my channel to anyone that like donates or gives or subs, but not every streamer's gonna do that.
Right, yeah. And it's, you know, not everyone will be, you know, it's not an incentive, obviously. It's only, that's something you do if you want to.
Right.
But it's always appreciated by the streamer. It's always appreciated and it's appreciated just for a viewer. Like, just being there is so big. And,
right.
I mean, without viewers, there's no stream, so... That's it's legit. It's awesome. That's why I really want to get into it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I could do for a community or something like that. So,
what games would you consider streaming?
Well, I might stream some Hearthstone, which I don't know if you do that anymore, but at least you have in the past. At least in Battlegrounds.
I still do occasionally.
I might try to get into Splitgate, because that does look really fun. I haven't actually played it yet, but I mean, it's a combo of Portal and Halo, which are two games that I absolutely love. So I mean, what can be bad about it?
Speaking of Splitgate, I just got the streamer tag in game, which you get if you're a content creator and you stream at least 5 hours a week of Splitgate. So that's
That
awesome.
is pretty awesome. Hell
So
yeah.
you kind of have an ad in-game while you're playing that they know you're a streamer.
Right. That's sick. That's awesome. So yeah, Splitgate, definitely something I might be looking into. Since I don't really play Apex, I definitely don't play Fortnite. That's not a kind of game I would play.
The other issue with Apex and COD and Fortnite is it's really oversaturated. So
that's what everybody's
the
playing.
average viewer ratio for those is like 2.
Right.
And then you play a game the biggest major game that has the biggest ratio is like Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
That game has like an 18-to-1 viewer ratio. So that's a good game to start on.
And honestly, that's a game that I was thinking about playing. Because Dead by Daylight looks so fun, and it's a game you can play with a bunch of friends. And it's and it's like all the coolest like villains and killers like from all over. Like it's a great game.
And it's on Xbox Game Pass if you have that.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's cross-platform. Like you can play with just about anybody. I think. On PC and console.
I think it is.
Maybe not from the Sony end, because you know how Sony is with cross-platform. Man, we don't want to do that.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
But at least with Xbox and PC, I'm pretty sure it is cross-platform, for sure. Maybe with Sony, I don't know. But, yeah.
But ultimately, it's just stream whatever game you have fun playing, which is why I started out streaming Legends of Dragoon.
Right.
It's my favorite game, and it has a cult following, and when you have the people that love the game like you come in there, and you're just like, hey man, I love this game, it's my best, what's your favorite part? You know, and you get to interact with them and talk about this sweet game, even though it's like 20 years old.
Right, and I'm really glad you are streaming that because it is a very underrated game. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't even really know about it, per se. So, because, like, you know, from that era, it's kind of from the Final Fantasy VII era, so I think, you know, that kind of overshadowed it a little bit. But it is a very cool game that was very ahead of its time. It actually, like, a PS1 game, it actually had, like, voice lines and stuff, like actual, like, narrations and voice acting and stuff. Like, PS1 games didn't, they were all text back then. Like, they didn't have any of that. And the graphics were sick, too, for back then.
The issue is it kind of got overshadowed by Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, and I think it was also really delayed, too, if I remember reading into that. I think it was delayed by a couple years because, well, they were trying to push the envelope so much. So that's kind of what happens.
And then, so it all came out, and it was awesome, and it did really well in America, but it didn't sell very well in Japan, which is weird because it's a Japanese RPG.
I think that was kind of their target audience.
And, it's weird, but so I love it. And I love that it's a turn-based game, but like you still have to do something in combat with hitting all the additions and everything.
Right, yeah, you just don't hit attack, and then they attack, and then you choose magic, and they do a spell. No, you actually have to like know what the addition is, and you can mess it up.
Right.
But yeah, it was a very interesting concept for sure. And the story is cool. The music's awesome. The characters are very interesting. Like it's a very different twist on like your typical RPG, which is why it is, you know, a pretty special game, really.
Right. Yeah.
That's one maybe I would try to play and stream once just to play through.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to do. I mean, I guess you can emulate it, which there's weird rules about that. But the gist is, you need to own the physical game.
Right. And well, I have it on my PlayStation 3, so I could just play it on that.
The PS3 is weird because it's DCHP enabled, so you need a splitter to split the output into the video capture card in order to capture.
Technical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn about all that stuff later on. Capture card is definitely something I'm going to invest in because I will definitely be wanting to play console games. Yeah, also Streamlabs makes it super easy to get started, but to use all of its features, you do kind of have to have Prime to make it really, really simple. Right. Which is like, I don't even know what it is, like $10 a month or something. I have a affiliate code that saves you $10, but... Sure. But otherwise, you can use OBS. You just have to learn how everything works in there. The thing, so the thing about using Streamlabs and OBS is more complex but it can do more. And it also tends to be more reliable because we know how Streamlabs is in crashing. Because
sometimes well,
it can be
is
annoying.
Basically, just a kind of a resource hog. I don't really have an issue with it because I have 64 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, I think that'll be enough.
I've maxed at 17, I think. So
yeah, you should be okay with 64 gigs. You should never have issues. I would think at least, but I don't know. Unless you got some updates going on in the background or something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Windows update. Because we all know how Microsoft is with updates. They're like, you do it now or else. Oh, I hate that. Oh, it's so annoying. I'm just glad you can finally turn that off now. It's finally an option. Thank Christ. Because before I'd be like, because it was literally, you literally had, they made you think you had an option. Because it's like, you can shut down now, or you can shut down 5 minutes from now, whichever you want. It's like, oh, really helpful, Microsoft. Thanks.
I always just, when I shut down, it says, hey, you have an update? I'm like, sure, whatever.
Sure,
Get
yeah.
all the new security.
When you're not in the middle of something, it's fine, but it's always at an inconvenient time. Ugh, so irritating. That's just my take on that, I guess.
Let's see. Well, shall we move to our news segment?
All right, what we got in news here?
Well, so I don't know. You play Magic. I play Magic.
Oh yeah, Magic the Gathering, fun card game. If anyone doesn't play it, it's been around for a very long time.
Yeah, 1993 Wizards of the Coast game, invented by Richard Garfield, I want to say.
I believe that's correct. But yeah, kind of like more complex Hearthstone if you play Hearthstone, essentially.
Yeah. But anyway, so they did a big showcase announcing all of the new stuff coming out. So the first thing, I'm just going to skip the stuff that's coming out this year. First thing they announced for 2022 was Commander Collection Black.
Oh boy, another collection. Here we go.
Yeah, and it had powerful cards like Toxic Deluge, Phyrexian Arena, and it looks kind of cool.
Awesome, yeah.
So, all cards that I'll use.
Yeah, because they're all black, right?
Yeah, black is the color I play in Magic.
He likes his swamps. Are they? Do they have new art and stuff too? Or
yeah, they all have its own art,
awesome.
Just like the Commander Collection Green did.
Well, I mean, that can be good or bad. Sometimes new art is not a good thing because
you'll have to look at it and decide for yourself.
A lot of times it comes down to opinion, really. But I tend to be more old school with my... I mean, actually, no, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50. Like, some of the new art is really cool, but there's also some of the classic card art that's... Like, for example, Therese Nielsen. You can't go wrong with Therese Nielsen. Like, her Force of Will, it's just... this is perfect.
Yeah. I like the classics, like Christopher Rush, Black Lotus, and all that.
Sure, and then of course me. I'm a John Avon whore when it comes to lands. So
yeah, John Avon is very good.
He's pretty sick. So I mean, new art can be really cool, but it depends. It depends on what the card is. Really, is what it comes down to. But
so then they also announced their 4 standard sets. So the first one next year is Kamagawa Neon Desert.
Oh, dear God. Here we go. Time to break the game again. Because we all know how that went last time.
I loved the original Kamagawa set. So this one says it's Kamagawa in the future with high-tech delight.
Interesting.
And homages to the fan favorite cards.
So let's just remember that Kamagawa gave us many of the insane staples that are still used in Legacy and things like that today.
Yeah, basically.
So we might be seeing more of that.
So a lot of overpowered cards, possibly.
Like Jite, that was a big one. What else was there? There's a bunch from Kamagawa.
Kakusho, all the dragons.
All the dragons were insane.
I think Thalia was in that too.
Yeah, I think maybe. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the cards. I haven't looked at them. But I know like some of those equipments for sure were definitely ridiculous, even for their time. Like they were insane. And then just the Bushido card type, or the Bushido whatchamacallit, the action. Like, that was busted.
Yeah, that was really good at the time. Now it's not that good.
I mean, yeah, today, sure, there's much better things now.
Right.
But at the time, it was, like, you know, that was game-changing for a lot of
the
things.
Snakes and everything.
Yeah, and it gave the game a lot more versatility.
Yeah, that for sure. Then the second set is the Streets of New Capenna, which apparently is a city with special significance to Elspeth, built by angels and run by 3-colored demon crime families. Interesting.
So is this supposed to be kind of a spin-off of like Ravnica or something like that, or is it going to be something completely different?
No idea. Looks like it's something completely new.
Okay, interesting. I like that.
Yeah,
new stuff is always good.
Set second. And then the third one is back to Dominaria again.
Okay.
Dominaria United.
Dominaria was pretty fun. It definitely had a lot of interesting things in it, so that'll be interesting to see for sure.
And then we have what I am probably most pumped for, because it's the name of the first Magic book, and it's also going to be a set now, The Brothers' War.
Excuse me.
So we're going back 30 years to the beginning of the Magic Plains in the lore, and it's going to be Mishra versus Urza.
Oh God,
in their war.
That's like that's like full on lore there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So that could be awesome.
That could be really cool. That is something I will definitely keep my eye out for sure. That Mishra and Urza, like anything in Magic, is always just insane. Like Mishra's factory, or Urza's like whole Tron, Megatron basically.
Yep. And then the blue Urza is
huge.
just busted right now.
Yeah.
But here's the question: will they make Mishra into an actual card? Because Mishra is supposed to be like the most powerful. So if they did, you would basically have to state you win the game if you meet some condition.
Right. And in Urza's same fucking way. Like for example, like Coalition Victory. I think that's got Urza, or maybe it has a saying from Urza on it. I can't remember. But I think Urza was somehow like either implied in the flavor text or in the picture. I can't remember which, but they both are just, in Magic the Gathering, gigantic forces. So that is going to be... that's definitely going to be interesting, for sure.
And then they are doing a remastered set, Double Masters 2022. What did you think of the first Double Masters?
The first one was... I had a lot of good stuff in it. If I remember right, it definitely had some staples. New art, of course.
Yeah, they had the box toppers. That's where you could get the full art fetch lands.
Right, yeah.
Was in there. Or expeditions, that's what it was. The expeditions were the box toppers.
Those good old expeditions. And, back to that.
They had 2 rares in a pack. So you could get, realistically, if the Uber pack was 4 rares if you got 2 foil rares.
Right, I can't remember, I don't know what, was, Lotus Petal in that? I thought there was, a couple...
Yeah, and Doubling Season.
Oh, yeah, Doubling Season was the big one,
all the, modern and legacy staples, basically.
Yeah, good stuff.
And powerhouses for Commander.
Yeah, which, honestly, a lot of that stuff kind of really goes into Commander. So that's always fun to see. We're both pretty big Commander players, so we're always happy to see.
Yeah, I always
Commander
love the reprint
related
sets.
stuff.
Always loved the
I have the
sets.
Battlegrounds Doubling Season for one of my decks, and it's just it's so sexy. And it's foil too, so
Then let's see. Okay. So then the next set is Jumpstart 2022. Did you play the last Jumpstart?
I didn't play that one as much. I do remember it though.
So I loved the first Jumpstart. You could just buy a box, get 2 packs, shuffle them together, because they're 20-card theme packs. So you get Garruk and Unicorns mixed together, and all of a sudden you have a Garruk Unicorn deck against what they got, so it's like Goblins and Demons or something, and it's hilarious.
Right, so it's very, very user-friendly, very playable.
Yes,
which
very
that's
easy
always great.
And fun
Great
for quick
drafting.
games.
Yeah,
fun for just quick games. You don't even need to draft it. You just grab the packs and go.
Yeah, or just quick deck building, basically. You just slap them together and play, which that's always nice.
Then they announced, their Universes Beyond. They're continuing with the crossover sets. So they did Dungeons and Dragons this year.
Yep. That was quite a crowd favorite, for sure.
Yeah, so I love that set. I don't have a ton of the cards from it yet, but I'm looking at them.
I definitely, I saw some of the Warlock stuff. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, and the dragons are awesome.
Of course, you gotta have the dragons. I mean, come on.
So
D&D, it's in the name.
Yeah, right. So the first crossover is going to be Warhammer 40,000.
Ooh, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be happy about that.
4 commander decks, and of course Space Marines.
All right. So, Corey and I haven't really played, Poker and I haven't really played Warhammer much, but we definitely know that it's a lot of people are really into it. So that'll be interesting to see.
It's like a tabletop game, like XCOM is how it was described to me.
Yes, I believe so. That sounds right. Never actually played it, but I know there's a lot of figures, a lot of tabletop elements for sure. That'll be interesting to see involved in Magic.
So then the last announcement of the crossover sets was Lord of the Rings.
Ooh, okay, I like that.
So Tales of Middle-earth. This is arriving, but this is 2023.
Okay, so we're going in the future here.
Yeah. Will bring the incredible depth of the world created by J.R.R. Tolkien to life with a Magic release. So Gandalf, Gollum, Frodo, Aragorn will all be in the set.
Now that's fun. I am a very big fan of Lord of the Rings personally, so that makes me very excited. Actually, did not hear about this until you just told me. So
yeah, it's awesome.
That is so sick. Like, Lord of the Rings is so cool.
It's going to be sweet.
And that, I mean, Lord of the Rings is just so magical as it is. It's just such an enchanting book/movie. Both are awesome. Tolkien did an amazing job with those books, and then of course the great Peter Jackson turned it into just a theatrical masterpiece onto the silver screen. So yeah, I cannot wait to see what they have in store for that. That sounds really cool. There's just so much lore and everything behind Lord of the Rings, so that's awesome.
Then they announced 2 secret layers they're going to do next year's crossovers. The first one is Fortnite themed, but it says, before we go on a tangent about how bad Walking Dead was, it says they will be reprints. So hopefully not mechanically unique cards.
Yeah,
that you have to buy.
Something I never got into.
But so Fortnite could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a biggest Fortnite fan, but I know, there's a lot of people who do like it. Yeah. So
it's definitely one of the things that, like, I'll look at the artwork, see if it's cool or worth getting.
Like, I will say Fortnite does have some cool art, so that would be fun to see for sure. And it'll be interesting to see how they fit that into the Magic universe, which is, kind of different. But, I'm open-minded.
Yeah, and then the second secret layer they announced is Street Fighter crossover. So these are going to be reprints, and it says, can you imagine Chun-Li with the ability multi-kicker?
I like
which is the perfect Magic ability for her.
That's just funny. That's like 100-handed one level.
Yeah. Oh, and they said now too, since these if these cards are mechanically unique, so the Street Fighter ones might be mechanically unique.
Interesting.
It says if they are, you'll be able to pick them up in the list of set boosters.
Okay.
So they are reprinting them somewhat easier accessible this time.
Right. Least. Yeah. That's just always nice because that can get obnoxious sometimes. For sure. So very interesting to see what Wizards is doing with all this. Definitely kind of changing their ways in some of their stuff. So because I don't know, they've always had kind of a formula they've always followed, and now they seem to be really, I don't know, trailblazing here a little bit. So
yeah, they're making the most profits ever, and they're like, let's just keep making more and more stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and then they can also just, oh, hey, we can license, Tolkien, sure.
Yeah,
or Peter Jackson.
So then they had an announcement for Arena. It did just launch on mobile, so if you don't have it on mobile, you can play
That's
Arena
really
on mobile.
nice. That's big, because that's a big reason I played Hearthstone for as long as I have, is because it's an awesome mobile game that you can just play when you're bored, on your phone, whatever. And with Magic, that's just so nice to have, because that was always the thing about Arena for me, is like, oh, you have to be at your PC. You can't, play it wherever. Like, now you can play it on mobile. It's like, that's nice. That's really nice.
So like, I have it on mobile, and I've a few times like pulled up a draft. I mean, it's a not as easy as on the PC, but you can do it.
Right.
So like,
right.
if you're waiting in line at the DMV, you can do a booster draft.
Yeah, hey, why not? It sounds good to me.
I personally prefer to just draft on the computer and then play the games on my phone on the go, which is fine.
Right, and you're not like time constrained to like a certain time limit when you draft, right? You can
only if you do the premier drafts.
Okay. So you can
if
draft.
you do the live player drafts, you're time constrained. But if you do against the bots, you have unlimited time.
Perfect. Yeah. So then just do a regular draft, and then you draft your cards, and then you do whatever you're doing, and then you can pick up your phone and finish your draft, or play it, whatever. So yeah, that's nice. That's great.
And then they're doing a digital-only release, so arena-only release called Jumpstart Historic Horizons.
Interesting.
So it's going to be Jumpstart set with historic legal cards, which are cards only legal in Arena.
Yeah. So this is the first time they've done this, yes?
Yes. I mean, they have historic launches on Arena, which are basically just adding some legacy modern staples into the format. And so historic is just any card in the game is legal.
Right. But this is the first time I have like a full set dedicated just to Arena. Yeah.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting to see as well, for sure. And
so
what that looks like.
And then, let's see. Then they're talking about all this stuff. Oh, and then the Magic Netflix series is supposed to come out in 2022 as well.
I did hear about that.
And it says, so there's a preview video. I haven't watched it yet. But in the preview video, it debuts the voice of Gideon is Brandon Routh.
Oh, sure. that should be good.
So that should be cool.
Because I always, Gideon's definitely a very stoic individual.
It's going to expand on the events that unfold in the prequel novel, and it's going to explore how Gideon and Jace's bond and then distance. So it's both them.
Interesting.
Gideon, I guess.
Which, personally, I have never actually read the books. Have you?
No, I've never read any of the books.
So, that'll be interesting to see, because I know there's a lot of lore in those. And I know people definitely enjoy those. Otherwise, they wouldn't be making a show about it. So, yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Definitely.
So then, in other news, Splitgate had its official launch today of Season 0.
Oh, cool. All right.
So there's a big update. The game was offline for about 12 hours or so.
Okay.
For them to do it. But so they have, the Season 0 features a brand new map, Karma Station, which I've played. It's not bad. It's kind of big, but... And then it now has a battle pass with 100 levels that you can purchase, or, keep grinding for coins to unlock it.
Yeah.
Because it's free to play game.
So what's this pass or this season gonna give? Is it like skins?
Yeah, so
guns?
it says 100 levels of brand new items exclusive to the pass. It says new armor and weapon skin, name tags, banners, portal skins.
Okay.
And you get different challenges.
So it's basically how the Call of Duty or the Fortnite seasons are basically
exactly how the battle passes work in that, or the Mastery Pass in Arena, or the Hearthstone pass.
The Hearthstone map, map, if you will. Yeah, so that's cool. I'm definitely appreciate that. Gives you a reason to play the game. So
then they did add a couple game modes too. So they did Casual Team Rumble mode, which is a playlist of like community favorite custom games.
That's always good. So they're pulling a Halo, is what it sounds
Yes,
like.
exactly.
Which is okay. That's great.
Big-headed snipers. I was playing that earlier. It was fun.
Big-headed snipers.
Split ball, which is like you have the ball and smack people kind of like Griff ball.
Heck yes. Griff ball was amazing.
And contamination, so the infected, like zombies.
So they're really pulling from Halo here.
Yeah, except for the contamination's weird a little bit because it's 3 rounds, and you got 2 humans and the rest are zombies.
Okay, so that's a little backwards.
And the humans can use portals and have BFB, the big fucking bat.
Okay.
And then, which is kind of like the grab hammer.
Right, yeah.
And then everybody else has a shotgun but can't use portals.
That's interesting. So they kind of turned it on its head from the original infected.
Yeah, and then they added a final kill cam update, so you can always see the final kill of the game.
Oh, you couldn't before?
Nope.
Okay.
They also made the pistol better. It's now fully automatic.
Oh, that's awesome. That's always good, because I definitely have very fast fingers, so I'm okay with that.
And then they added aim assist slider. So before you either could just have aim assist on or off. Now you can choose to like have it somewhere in the middle if you want.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's a cool approach.
Obviously, it only works for controller players.
Of course, yeah, because PC has a mouse.
And then they added overtime to King of the Hill, VIP, and Oddball mode. So like if you have the ball or you have control of the hill, you can keep going until the hill runs out versus just losing when the timer ends.
That's actually really nice, because there's nothing worse than you having control and you lose the game.
Yeah,
that's so stupid. So that's a good change for sure.
They also added that now if you complete all the daily challenges, so you get 3 challenges a day. I already did this today. You get a loot drop, so with a skin or whatever.
Right.
Which is kind of cool.
Cool.
They also added 9 levels to the referral pass, so if you referral people to the game, you can get different items, like skins and shit.
Sure.
They added in the custom games mode, because you can host your own custom games, expanded filtering, so you can filter for what kind of game you want to play.
That's really nice.
Versus just listing them all.
Because God, not having good filters for game modes is a pain.
Yeah.
It sucks. So
you can also now shoot portals through your allies. Before, if your ally was in the way, you'd have to like move, shoot the portal, move, shoot the portal.
That's nice. I'm sure that was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and now kill cam is in all modes. It used to not be in like SWAT, which was like hardcore.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They added some more split divisions, so like 3,000 is Diamond 1, and then 3,300 would be Diamond 2. And
so rank kind of.
Yeah, so
filtering.
it's more split up. Instead of every 500, it's like every 300.
Okay, so easier to level up, or rank up, not level up.
Yeah,
easier to rank up.
Well, you'll play against more level balanced players probably.
Right. Because that's
there's
always
more ranks versus less.
That is a terrible feeling when you play against someone who's like way higher rank than you, and you're just like, why am I even here? Like, come on.
I mean, if you're playing casual, you still will. But if you play ranked,
when you're trying to actually rank up though, and you're playing against people who are like ridiculously higher rank, that's so annoying when that happens. Ugh. So that's nice. That's nice. You'll have a better chance to play against more ranked people of your level.
They also updated the ability in a custom game to switch teams during the match.
Okay.
So I don't know why that was needed. But,
yeah, sure.
And then more server optimizations. They fixed some footstep audio and some other bugs.
Well, server optimization. More server help is always good.
Well, they have pretty much fixed it at this point.
That's good,
you just boot up and you're in.
When they first started the game, I know there was some major
I had to wait like
issues.
2 hours to get in one time.
Yeah, that's rough.
But now it's literally like you just boot up the game, you play, and there's an inactivity timeout where it kicks you if you don't do anything for so long. So
that's good.
Definitely fixed all of it.
I'm glad to hear that because that was part of the reason why I hadn't played it yet, because I heard that either the matchmaking or just the servers themselves were just struggling. So I'm glad they fixed that. That's very good. So I will definitely want to play it for sure, because beforehand I'm like, I
definitely download it and play it,
because there's nothing worse than like bad matchmaking or just bad server service in general.
Right.
Oh, it's so terrible. Like, that's the reason I never picked up the Master Chief Collection, because like the remake for Halo for the Xbox One, I believe is what it was.
Yeah, it's on PC now too.
Right, yeah, and they had like the campaign, of course, is a huge part of Halo, but like, of course, the biggest draw to Halo was the multiplayer. Like, you played it for the multiplayer, and the other big thing about the Chief Collection was that you could specify which Halo you wanted to play multiplayer in. You could play Halo 2 multiplayer, you could play Halo 3 multiplayer, which was cool, but they didn't optimize the matchmaking, and the matchmaking was just god awful. Like, you could wait for like 10 minutes or longer for a match to start. Oh, it's just terrible.
That's awful.
Yeah, I'm sure by now that's probably been mitigated, but at least
I'd hope so.
I would hope so too. But at least back when it was like first released, back in like, when was it, 2014, 13?
I don't know. It's been a while.
A while ago.
The next Halo's coming out soon.
It was bad.
If people want to find you, where do they do so?
Well, I am the Puma Man on Discord. That's my main place I'm at right now. I am in poker server.
Well, you have a Twitch too, right?
I do have a Twitch, which is under the same name. It's the Puma Man, but spelt in leet, so the E's are 3s and the A's are 4s.
Yeah, so you can follow him for when he starts streaming, or you can hang out with him in the Poker Club X Discord.
And I'll be better about that. I've not really been
I'll put
a big
all
presence.
the links in the show notes. Me, you can follow on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Am I missing one?
Snapchat?
No, not Snapchat. But all of it is Pokerbrox X.
Which that's
all one
legit.
word. Yeah. So you can find me there. You can also, my Discord should be public, searchable, but I'll put a link in the show notes to all of our stuff too. If you want to support the show, you can check me out on stream and do it that way. You can check out our Discord, just become a member. Let's see, you can use one of my stream referral codes. We might set up other things, but I'll put all the information in the show notes. For now, you just checking out one of our streams was the way to support the show.
Sick. Well, I think this was a pretty good first episode. Definitely talked about a lot of stuff that we're interested in. And yeah, we hope to do this, more kind of on a regular basis, maybe weekly, monthly. Not sure what we'll
see
planning
how
on.
long this one is. Probably bi-weekly or monthly.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I'm also going to post, last minute note, on the Discord, if people want to be a guest on the show, a Google form for you to request that.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you all and definitely hear from you.
Yeah, so until next time, Poker and Puma are out.
We out. Thanks for joining us.